welcome back to Budget Scenery Workshop. This video will be a slightly longer video. It will be a narrated tutorial video, and as you can see from the list, there is a few to go through, so this will be a slightly longer video. I do apologise for that, but hopefully it will help a lot of you out. So each has its own timestamp, so you can find it much quicker. Okay guys, with that out of the way, I would just like to say thank you to those that have subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Don't forget that little notification bell. And if you would like to support the channel, you can do that via Patreon, or now you can choose to buy me a coffee instead. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Let's get on with these tutorials. So this first request came from Johnny Cooper, and it was for some sci-fi terrain, something that could be used for Star Wars Legion, Judge Dredd, that kind of thing. So what I thought I could make is some kind of bunkers to shoot from, like a defendable position, but also I could make like a cool looking comms tower kind of thing, just to go along with it. Perhaps some barricades as well. So what I'm going to use is this nice double corrugated cardboard, because it's cheap and free. I work in a kitchen, so when we get deliveries, I always keep hold of these. So yeah, double corrugated cardboard, keep hold of it, it's really solid. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out to shape, then I'm going to come back and let you know the measurements. Okay, so what I have is two 7x3 sections. I have two 3x3 sections. I have four 1.5 by 3. These are all in inches, by the way. Okay, this is going to be the front and rear. This is going to be the side, and these are also going to connect. So it kind of goes like that kind of shape. What I've done here is just marked out where got my little Space Marine, just for scale, just where they're going to shoot from. And this is like roughly an inch and a quarter from the bottom, and then half an inch, then just cut out that. So it's pretty much the same either way. So yeah, what I am going to do is I'm going to get some thin card, and you can maybe just see it. I'm just going to cover up that and this one on both of these. So that's what I'm going to do next. So all I'm doing here is just cutting out some thin strips of craft card to cover up the corrugation, just to make it look a little bit neater, just in the where the guys are going to be shooting from. If you saw my dungeon in a box build, this is exactly the same thing I did to cover up the sides. Just makes it look much neater, just so it doesn't have all those gaps in the ends there. Then just using some super glue, I just glued them into place. I would suggest maybe not using as much super glue as I used. Just maybe use PVA or hot glue. And here I'm just attaching the bass guitar strings, just for a little bit more detail, to make it look like cables for power and stuff. Okay, so I've added all those piping and stuff, just for a little bit of extra interesting detail. And what I've got here is just some scrap hardboard. I've just cut it up into roughly the same shapes. I'm just going to put them somewhere. Okay, so I was just going to hot glue these, but I'm see how we get on with super glue. Again, this is just to speed things along. Hopefully I don't stick it too. Okay, so how do I have it? There we go. Okay. So the next one should be right, okay. Yeah, if you're doing this for yourself, use hot glue or PVA. Unless you're just trying to quickly throw something together. So let's see, how does that look? I think that's okay. I think if I actually do it here, there we go, that's much easier to tell. Okay, so that should do it. So yeah, that's the door side. And later on I will cover up these gaps and I'll show you how I do that once I have everything assembled. Okay, so slight change of plan. I am going to use hot glue. Super glue, just do not do it. It's good if this is just like a proof of concept kind of thing. If I was making this for like the tabletop, I would use the likes of hot glue or even PVA. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along the insides with hot glue, just so, because as you can see it's kind of wobbly, but I am going to add a base to this and obviously a removable roof, so you know little guys can get in there. Okay, so just waiting for the hot glue to heat up, then I'm going to crack on with that. Okay, so now it's heated up. It'll be a much stronger bond, and this thing won't wobble as much. All I'm doing here is just going around all the gaps and just filling them in with this ready mixed polyfiller, or spackle as some people call it, just to tidy up those nasty looking corners and make it look nice in the end. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. Obviously there will be much better pictures at the end of this tutorial. I'm not sure if I'll paint it because I tend to ruin things when I paint them, but I will definitely base coat it with Mod Podge to protect it, then spray it black and highlight it white to bring out the details So that's the main structure of the bunker. Next I'm going to be working on the floor and the roof. Okay, so now we've got that all built, all I'm going to do is just take some more of this double corrugated cardboard and just make a decent sized base for it. All that polyfiller is dried. Just going to go ahead and make a roof. This might have been easier without the base on. I don't know why, but this step is always my favourite. Just adding the Mod Podge and black acrylic paint, just to secure everything in place, make it look neater, ready for its first paint. And this Mod Podge and black acrylic really easy to make. It's just keep mixing black paint until it's, black. Some people add a little touch of water just so it's not as thick. I never do. I've never had a problem with it. So yeah, it's just however you prefer it really. But I think just Mod Podge and black acrylic works just fine. Okay, so now that's all base coated with Mod Podge and black acrylic. I'm going to leave that to dry. I'll leave the roof for just now, because what I'm planning is cutting a couple of circle holes in this and adding 2 or 3 of these battery operated tea lights. And as you can see, they kind of flicker, so I thought that would make pretty good like bad lighting, like the lights flickering on the inside so you can see it from out the holes. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing next. Okay, so now I've got the roof cut out. What I want to do is kind of have these tea lights evenly spaced out, just across the middle there, just so the light's nice and even. But to get a decent circle cut, I'm not going to be able to do that with like a sharp knife or something. So this is a good idea to be on the lookout for. These are cookie cutters. You can actually buy these from Green Stuff World, I think, but they're not actually for cutting cookies. That's a tongue twister. They market them for making bases, mini bases, but they're exactly the same size. I think that's like a hero base, that's a standard, that's a small. But yeah, cookie cutters, these cost about 99 pence. They did come from China, so I had to wait a bit for them to be delivered, but yeah, just look up round cookie cutters. You've got to save yourself a fortune. And as you can see, they are maybe a bit big, but when I put the lights in, they'll be like this upside down. I'm going to hot glue them in. So, another tip, I do this all the time when trying to take, because now my arts and crafts shop has just started selling the black foam core board that's easy peel. But this stuff, it'll come up in sections, but then it'll be left with, there can you see, little bits of paper, and doing that takes ages. So I do what I can with that, then all I do is just get a wet wipe and just rub it, and there you can see it comes off. Right, just in case if you can't get the easy peel stuff. Plus your foam cardboard's nice and clean. But it's wet, but you can see it's peeling off much easier. And just where it isn't wet, you can see it. There you go. Just leaves a bit of the paper behind. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to remove all the paper, then mark out, focus, where I want these tea lights to be. Yeah, so I've got all the paper off. You can see, nice and clean. I've also marked out the centre and where I want my lights, so they're evenly spaced. Now all I'm going to do is hopefully get something, and I need something that is solid, so let's use this lid and hopefully this will go right through it. And not damage it. That way. There we go. So next, hopefully, these will come out. Not too much trouble. Obviously with these not being, you know, super sharp, they're for cutting dough. I should have maybe marked front and back, you know. But hey ho, you live and learn. I think now might be enough time. Okay, time to so what I do need something with a sharper blade. And I'll just put a new one in this one. I can't imagine this will be a perfect circle, but it'll be better than what I would have tried to freehand it. You know what, that's actually going to be really tight. There we go. Cool. A little bit of tidying up. And that'll do great. And just pressing down gently as to not tear or rip it more so than is necessary, but there you go. And they will sit in very very snugly. Yep, very snugly. Okay, so first I'm going to coat this again in Mod Podge and black acrylic paint. Then I'm going to get to painting it. I think I might do the painting off camera because, you know, you might want to paint it differently. But yes, so next, roof. Okay, so please excuse the very shoddy paintwork. I haven't, you know, like shaded it or added details or even given it a wash. This is more of a proof of concept build, but I will add the roof with the lights on. You might not be able to see them, but you can see them underneath there. I'll just turn this light out. You can see them flickering there. So yeah, they're just very cheap tea lights. In the UK, I think for a pack of 4, they're like £2.99 or something. Yeah, really useful stuff. So yes, Johnny Cooper, thank you for the tutorial request. I hope that was okay for you. Just let me know in the comments what you think. And for, I talked about doing some barricades and stuff, but looking through some old videos of mine, I believe it's the 12th video I did, so really early on in the channel, like super early on, like last year sometime. If you just go to my videos, sort by oldest, it'll be the 12th one, and it's the where I make scatter terrain, where I make some barricades and fences and stuff. So yeah, I quite like this. Obviously, if I was preparing it for the tabletop, I would paint it, but this was more of a tutorial. And you would paint it however you want. Okay, so the next one will be an elevated highway. That's for Dutchie. And the one after that are Battleboards and water effects for Matthew Long. So I hope you're looking forward to that. So yes, just let me know in the comments what you think, and on with the next one. This one is an elevated highway, and this was requested by Dutchie. And I think what I'm going to do here is just kind of do a sketch of this one, because I'm going to run out of space. Yeah, so elevated highway. Now, the first thing you want to do is like just decide what kind of highway it's going to be. Is it like modern, futuristic, or is it more kind of medieval? So modern, I'd say, is more kind of like this. The supports. Like that. Then there's obviously the road or highway along there. Then you've got your barrier. And then you've got your road or whatever going underneath. Something medieval, they're more rounded. Kind of like more arches. Again, I'm a terrible drawer, so I do apologise for this. So something like that. Instead of like plain concrete, this would all be like rows and rows and rows of bricks. bricks all the way. You get the gist. And obviously you can have rivers underneath, you can have road, you can have a path. Now, what could you use for the supports? Depends what kind of elevated highway I was going for. If it was, say, like a more sci-fi one, I'd go for something round, like a tin can or this old hot chocolate tub I pilfered from work. If it was more modern, like today-ish, I'd kind of use this stuff. This is it extruded polystyrene? It's the one that's made with all the little bubbles. The really terrible, cheap stuff. And you can get this if you go into any supermarkets. Whenever there's a new seasonal event going on, you know, like Halloween, Easter, whatever, they'll get new displays out where they put like cards or chocolates and stuff. And when it arrives off the delivery wagon, more often than not, it'll come on a cage and it'll be protected by this stuff. So if you just go into those kind of stores and just say, do you have any of this stuff? Because I used to work in the supermarket and this stuff, it just gets thrown out. And I have a lot of it. So yes, that could be made like to stand up. And obviously it's not very durable, but you coat it in Mod Podge and it's nice and sturdy. And for the overpass, I guess, or the elevated road bit, you could just use what I normally use is just either foam core board, just remove the paper, then you can do the, you know, nice little path with extra bits of cut off foam core board and just carve in damage or cracks or whatever. Obviously you'd have to decide on what size you'd want it as well. I'm going to go and say it's your standard, you know, 28-32mm. So that's like another reason why I couldn't really build it, because no room. But yeah, that's your road. And again, if it's more medieval road, you'd have like a cobblestone path, bricks there, then these would be bricks in different layouts as well. Or if you wanted to do like a futuristic one where it was kind of damaged, just card, get a sharp knife and just one side, then just make the other side slightly smaller. Then the cut off bit from in here, you just have laying on the ground with loads of rubble and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot you could do with an elevated highway. But like I said, all you have to do first is just decide on what kind of style, theme behind it, what you want to build it out of, the size, if you want it to be, you know, an actual playable piece of terrain. And yes, but yeah, don't just chuck out everything. Like even stuff like like Pringles cans or like these. This is the inside of a packet of a roll of cling film. This is really thick, decent sturdy tube, so that could be used as one of the bridge elevated highway supports. So yeah, just start looking at stuff a little differently. Even stuff like these. Just find one that's empty. Yeah, these little drinks cups that you get that are cold. Just that way around, or even that way around. They're already kind of curved. Look kind of cool. So yeah. So I hope I answered your question there. If not, I'm sure there are much better channels that actually have elevated highway builds for you to check out. But nevertheless, Dutchie, thank you for the request, and I hope that helped you out a little bit. On to the next one, which will be Battleboards and ways of making water effects for Matthew Long. Battleboards and water effects, Matthew Long. 1 second. Much like my previous explanation of ways to get free materials, this was bought, well, not bought, it was actually free from a local supermarket. Again, I just went down when they were having a clear out and a new seasonal event, which was Halloween coming up. They had lots of treats. I knew they would get a new display piece, which, as I previously said, arrives on a cage, and in the cage everything is protected with this stuff. So it'll either be thin boards, well, not thin, they're pretty thick, like this, or this more square one. So these are already the perfect size, pretty much. So let's see what we have here. So yeah, about 9 inches that way. Let's see, about 12. Say about 14 inches that way. Obviously these will vary in size, but once you get these, you're halfway there. All you have to do then is just stick some card tiles down. Where are my card tiles? Here we are. Just plonk them down, whichever style you'd want. You get the gist. And again, free, just by going out and just asking if any supermarkets have any, packing foam or packing polystyrene. Now, for water effects, a good cheap way I've found this is wallpaper. It's, as you can see, it's textured. You can get all kinds, but there's some, I don't think this is no, there's one that looks a bit smoother, but it's still rippled like this. It's very good for water. And what you can do, let's get the old sketchbook out. Hope you're all ready for another terrible sketch. Goodbye, terrible sketches. So all you want to do is get your base material, which can be foam core board, polystyrene, cardboard. Then what you want to do is glue your textured wallpaper onto the base material. Then just get a piece of cardboard, one for each side, and just glue them down so you've got your bank. So from the side, well, from looking at this end flat, it'd kind of be like that. And to get this bit, all you want to do is just smooth off the edges of the cardboard with polyfiller, or what does other people call it, the spackle, I guess. And all this, very cheap. Where I come from in the UK, obviously you may have noticed by the accent, this ready mix polyfiller is about 99 pence. I have some. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, this stuff. This was very cheap, and all it is, it's that stuff. This was 99 pence. I got it from one of those all-in-one stores, the kind of stores that sell everything, toys, food, kitchen sinks, horses, whatever. So yeah, if you didn't want to do that, you could use resins, more expensive way, basically exactly the same, blah 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 blah, there's your bank. Obviously you wouldn't be able to use card, just sink through it. What you'd have to do is seal it first with Mod Podge, then probably, I don't know what I'm doing here by the way, and probably just do the same with polyfiller at the sides. I'm not sure if it'd soak into the polyfiller, it might. I'm not an expert, don't listen to me there. But when you are using resin, obviously you just need to secure the sides, so attach something temporarily that is watertight, so no resin is going to leak out and destroy your table, much like I did to one of my earlier builds. Then just pour your resin in, and then you got a nice real water effect. Obviously you could also use hot glue. I'm just drawing the same thing over and over again, but yeah, just start one end, just run your hot glue over and over and over. Obviously this will mean we'll use a lot and lot of hot glue. What else could you use? String. You could use, thread, not thread, I guess you could use knitting wool. Just, again, base, your bankment, then just cover all this in PVA, then just go down with your wool, just lay it down, leave it to dry. When you've laid the wool down, go over it again with PVA just to secure up, then you can paint it whatever colour you like. It's going to be water, so I presume you'd want it blue, which is kind of weird because water's clear, but whatever. So yes, a few different things you can do for water effect. I think my favourite is probably the most expensive, is the resin, just because I just like resin. It's something very new to me. It's just something that looks the best. But you can also get very, very good effects by, hardly spending any money at all. I mean, textured wallpaper. Everyone's got a roll of wallpaper lying around in the shed or in the loft or under the stairs. Wool, there's wool everywhere. If not wool, that hemp rope stuff, that stuff they use to tie up parcels with. So yeah, lots of stuff you could use. Obviously, again, you could use polyfiller. Just lay it on, then just go over with a blunt pencil or whatever, then just mark in your water effects. So yeah, I know these haven't been as in depth as the bunker, but I have actually wanted to build a bunker, because I don't know if anyone does, but I subscribe to Warhammer Imperium magazine, so I don't have much, in the way of sci-fi TV. I just wanted something to go on their display board, because I like to make a display board for all the new armies. Anyway, I'm just babbling on now. I hope you've all enjoyed that. Thank you to Johnny Cooper, Dutchie, and Matthew Long. I think in future I will have these as maybe one build and one I show you how to, make your own washes, or how to make a cheap man's Mod Podge or whatever. But yeah, just so I'm not kind of like stumbling over myself with, how can I do something? But yes, anyway, I've enjoyed this. I hope it's been okay for you guys too. Just let me know in the comments what you think. I'm sure you will. I am working on a new intro soon. Maybe some more music, so that may... I want it to look cool, so yeah, I'm going to have some of my best builds in it. Yeah, and not just kind of rush it. Anyway, I tend to do this a lot. I'm babbling on. I'm going to say goodbye. Hope you like this video. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you do, don't forget notifications, and you'll never miss a thing. If you would like to support the channel, you can do that via Patreon, or now you can choose to buy me a coffee instead. Okay guys, I will catch you next time. Bye for now.